Check this out.
Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. Henry Ford. One of the greatest challenges to becoming totally free is to be able to think independently from everyone else. You know instinctively no one cares about you as much as you care about yourself. Yet we constantly listen to others about what is best for us instead of thinking about what is best for us. That is because we live in a world where everybody tells you what to think, but no one tells you how to think. We are blasted every day with advertising, financial sales pitches.
Sometimes you wish people didn't agree with you all the time. At MF Global, we tell you what's good for you.
Political media propaganda, religious dictates, and more social pressure to conform. Most of our lives, we do not make any real decisions. We just kind of fall into a routine. You see, when you really don't think, you leave your mind open to people who do think. The real and most often unnoticed danger is a class of predators manipulating societies for their own selfish benefits. If you go along to get along and not think outside of the box, you risk being caught in the undertow of a doomed society or worse. There is a lot of money and power derived off of having a sucker born every day. Our elite molds societies by educating people just enough to run the machine, but never enough to ask if this is the best machine for us. Think about it. Our controlled school system teaches sex, drugs, and multiculturalism in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades, and not even how to balance a checkbook by high school. The elite system wants utterly dependent people to control for power and profit. They do not want fully aware people who can see through the mainstream media lies, the Wall Street Ponzi schemes, or federal abuses. They certainly do not want people educating others to our common plight of this illusion. Do your thoughts serve to free you, or simply to make you freely serve? Your thoughts are not your own. If you ever wonder why Americans are broke, depressed, and lifeless, look no further than whose thoughts they are thinking. If they are listening to the elite's financial con men, they are constantly stripped of their wealth through a myriad of schemes. If they're listening to the elite's mainstream media, they're depressed about the national problems because they're too big and the experts say that there's no hope, or worse, hope is coming someday. If they're listening to the elite's medical community, they're hooked on psychotropic drugs. They will never get their fire back by tackling their life's challenges. The elite give us the illusion of freedom, but control all of the choices. The elite give us the choice of 500 cable stations, and yet the same message comes from every one of those channels. They give us aisles and aisles of food, and yet 90% of it is just corn and soy byproducts. They give us a choice of hundreds of political candidates, yet nothing changes because both sides are bought and paid for by the elite. They give you the choice of investment of stocks, bonds, and real estate. But when this all goes down, you will see that it's all part of the same illusion of the dollar. This paradigm is controlled by the elite, and if you don't think independently for yourselves, you cannot help but to be controlled, whether you know it or not. Every aspect of your life is monitored, regulated, taxed, and controlled, not for your betterment, but for the betterment of others. To do most high-paying jobs requires a certification or a license. That's a form of control. Most assets that you have or own outright are not yours. Try not paying property taxes on a home that you own outright, and I'll show you who the real owner is. All your communications are monitored and recorded. Now the federal government wants these records to be kept indefinitely. Do you think you own your 401k? Try getting your money out. Or how about the stocks that you own outright? The fact is, the DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, owns all of the stocks that are traded. If you want to do anything to your home, you better get permission from the homeowner association or the local zoning board. All these examples, plus many, many more, have nothing to do with making your life better. They exist to create power, profit, and a parasitic life for somebody else. Let's take a more detailed look at this. Our entire life is a rigged game designed to keep us down. We are fed consumerism, taught that we have no purpose, taught to obey, medicated with alcohol or drugs. Early pregnancy is glorified. Poor diets with fast food. Because of a poor education, people have a lack of vision. We have unhealthy relationships. We're entertained and not really educated. Divorce is a huge setback for many people. With this economy, we're faced with dead-end jobs, an entitlement mentality. We were trained to work for the government. People are saddled with credit card debt, auto debt, mortgage debt, student debt. People are driven to attain worthless diplomas, to become licensed professionals. And once they find some sort of success, they're marked with progressive taxation. They could become a legal target. If they create a business, they're forced to deal with increasing regulations and scrutiny. And then after they're all done, they're faced with the death tax. And regardless of what level of society that you're at, you're faced with federal debt, state debt, local debt, corporate bailouts, weak economy, bank failures, energy dependence, inflation, outsourced jobs, wars, political distractions, illegal immigrants, propaganda, popping of asset bubbles, genetically modified food, cancer, rising health insurance, and most dangerous of all, other ignorant people.
Artificially colored food made with dyes derived from petroleum and coal tar, yellow 5, red 40, and 6 other dyes are used to enhance products from Fruit Loops and Nutri-Grain. Now check this out. Now look at this. How many of our parents give our kids these Oscar Mayer little packages to go to school? Look at all these ingredients, man. Half these ingredients, man, we can't even pronounce. You feel me? Now look at this one here. This one comes from the Blue Flame Takis. And it was reported on the news not to give your kids Takis. But look at the ingredients in it. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling y'all. And this one here coming up next, hot dogs. Let me tell y'all something. If you Google American foods, it'll show you that American foods are hot dogs, hamburgers, fried chicken, or whatever. If you think I'm lying, check this out. Boom, there you go. First thing pop up. Now I'm finna show y'all something. You see how Jamaicans eat curry food, goat. You see how Haitians eat griot. Every nationality has their type of food. America got hamburgers and hot dogs because it has no culture. See, that's something you need to think about. You feel me? They have no culture. We talking about really important, man. I'm gonna show y'all the ingredient, which is food coloring. It's in all kind of foods, from Fruit Loops, all type of cereal, all type of everything that we give our kids. And get with it. I'm gonna show y'all how it's linked to ADHD, cancer, and all type of other stuff. It's also banned in other countries. Yes, banned in other countries, but it ain't banned over here in the United States. And one more thing, it's FDA approved. Red dye 40 is what I'm talking about. Red dye 40 has been linked to aggression and mental disorders like attention deficit, hyperactive disorder, ADHD, which is in children. Now, look, additionally, it affects adults and children, as you see, reported upset stomach, migraine, jitteriness, nervousness. And look, the CSPI released a report that says artificial food dyes pose a rainbow of risks, including allergies and cancer. You see that? Now look, red dye 40 is a synthetic color additive or food dye made from petroleum. It is one of the 9 certified colors additive approved by who? The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, for use in food and beverages, okay? It's also approved as a food dye within the European Union. Now look at this. Artificially colored food made with dyes derived from petroleum and coal tar, yellow 5, red 40, and 6 other dyes are used to enhance products from Fruit Loops and Nutri-Grain. Now check this out. By the Center for Science and the Public Interest, they are banned in Norway, Finland, France, Australia, and the UK. And may I add, Canada. Then why the hell it ain't banned in the United States? Now, you see that what I just showed you? I'm just talking about a few things. Shit that we give our kids. Things that we eat on daily. But it's FDA approved. So now how do you feel about FDA approved? What that mean? You know what I mean? Shit, they approve cigarettes. At the end of the day, this is why the education is so important. When we break away from all this shit, we're gonna need the right people on board, the right doctors, the good caretakers, not the ones for profit. Majority of them for profit. They don't give a fuck if you, they don't give a damn if you leave this bitch to death tomorrow. They just want them, they want that money. But again, we got so much trust into this society to where it's like we second guess people that we can see. Like, I can see you. I know what you do. I know what you don't do. Why I should be able to trust you before I trust a motherfucker I don't know. You feel me? Poison don't have to kill you as soon as you take it. That's another thing. This shit they put in this shit is poison. Eventually it'll kill you, but I'm finna get something to make y'all think. Imagine you got this poison, you've been eating this poison for 20 years. And at the end of that 20 or 30 years, let's say 30 years. Say you've been eating the same shit for 30 years. At the end of that 30 years, you develop diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, all this shit. and God forbid that shit take you out. You got to think that it's people dying every day from this shit that they ate 30 years ago. And there's people starting to eat this shit every day that's gonna catch up with them 30 years later. So when you put it all together and you look at it, what I'm telling you is, on a global scale, it don't really take time. That shit just happens. Even though it took 30 years, 20 years, it's a bitch died every day from the shit they ate 20, 30 years before prior. So to them, they killing people every day, off something that they ate 20, 30 years prior. And this is how you got to look at it. You can't look at it for today. Look at it for somebody that passed today or yesterday, that been eating this shit 30, 40 years prior. And that's why I say, man, we got so much trust in this shit, this whole construct. And I'm just scratching the surface, man. I ain't talking about alcohol, I ain't talking about drinks, I ain't talking about the GMOs, the fruits. These things are made. You think Oscar Mayer make them small Lunchables just to be making them? No, they make them for parents that's gonna go buy them all up and just give them to their kids and shove it down their throat. They know this. They know most parents don't have the time. We got to start making the time. We got to start cooking. We got to start like giving our kids food. We need to start trying to get land and grow shit. Because the more they control what we eat or all the resources, food, water, and shelter, the more they control that, the more they control us. We got fluoride in our water. We don't control the water. Fluoride is banned in other countries just as well as the shit I'm talking about right here. The red 40 dye, the yellow 5 dye, fluoride, it is banned. And you got doctors, beware of the world we live in, because them motherfuckers take everything that's natural, make a supplement or something to substitute it to sell you. Look this shit up. And we so surrounded by it because, you know, every big business all stick together. Everywhere you look, you're gonna get this processed as food, but try to avoid it as much as you can. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Try to avoid it, because if we all came together, we could stop them from putting this shit on the shelf, but we don't. Everybody's so worried about their own little business until we ain't thinking about our kids. We all need to come together and say, look, don't put that much sugar in the Oreo cookies. You know how much sugar in the Oreo cookies? And that shit killing people, man. It might take 20, 30 years to kill your ass, but get what? They making money as you go, because they selling you the shit. Then you gonna need the pills. You gonna go get the pills. You ain't gonna die. And when you die, you gonna have to pay for your casket and all that shit. You see what? You locked in box from the cradle to the grave. Y'all know what time it is, man. Putting this sauce on your ass. You feel me? Catch y'all before the new year come in. You feel me? Now, I've done videos to show you, no matter where in the world, right? These news reporters gonna say the same exact thing. Why? Because they're reading from a teleprompter. They're reading the exact same shit. Same shit they hear in Seattle, New York, here, there, they saying the same thing. This is why these people created that. If you know anything about marketing, if you're into marketing, if you took a marketing school and they give you not just the marketing side, but they're gonna give you the psychology side of marketing, it will blow your motherfucking mind. Social media is allowing us, or allowing them to get to us through cameras to shape the way we see things. If you go to Instagram, go to Discovery, you know what you're gonna see? You're gonna see women with their ass out, titties out, shaking and twerking and doing all that kind of shit. And you're gonna see rappers with gold, jewelry, money, and all that. That's all you're gonna see. Now, in different parts of the world, with different people, you may see something different. And I'm very curious I'll bet my bottom dollar that, and this is not to be racist, but like I say, I ain't come up with none of this shit. I guarantee you, if it was a older person, let's say a Caucasian or older person, white guy, white female, they may see something totally different on Discovery when it comes to Discovery on Instagram. I don't know. I haven't done that research, but I just say I don't. It wouldn't shock me if it was that, because I know how they use the algorithms and I know how they use social media to paint the perception in our head. Now, what I'm trying to explain to y'all is this: go deeper, dive deeper, look at a camera as no, that's not a camera, that's a weapon. That's a weapon. With that camera can send your ass off the cliff. With that camera, that they can shoot movies, they can shoot sitcoms, they can shoot all type of shit that give you the perception of this is what this is and this is what this ain't. Trust me, I want y'all to see this shit in a different light. You feel me? I'm in one. I'm one with myself. And like I say, man, I ain't want to ruin nobody's Christmas or ruin nobody's day, but I just had to bring y'all, what's happening. Y'all know I always do that. This is a channel where we learn from each other from. This is a channel where we can grow, and that's what I want to continue to do. Like I said, I just want everybody to finish up, man, hard this year, going into next year, man. Go strong, learn. Like I say, when you start learning, when you start living. Learn, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because when you uncomfortable, that's a sign of growth. Anytime you have a conversation with somebody, you really want some real information, like a real friend or family member who really gonna give it to you, you should walk away from that conversation in your feelings or feeling some type of way. Sometimes people take it as hate. Sometimes people take it as, all I'm basically saying is you're supposed to walk away different. You're supposed to walk away uncomfortable because you've heard something you normally want to hear. If I told you the same, if I told you what you want to hear, you'd be comfortable with that. You're cool. But if I told you something that may hurt your feelings, but you should know, because the truth hurts. It's supposed to. So don't look at it like, oh, you being a hater. Sometimes, man, you got to pick the right people around you who gonna really tell you, what's what. And
Still, nobody wants to listen to little old me.